All right, so I want to talk about the lineup just briefly.
Okay.
I know that band.
Shut up, man.
Sorry. You guys started it.
I like it.
So when that band first started, that was you, Jack Holder.
Yep. Kerry Badur.
Pete?
Oh, I did not realize that.
Kerry was the first keyboard player.
Okay.
And Davey Dave.
I knew that.
Yep, and Pete Mandela.
Okay.
So the band was actually put together for me. I had a band in Albuquerque that played every event, every casino, every time we could.
Right.
And it was just David Kurtz band, and I'd been sending some tracks back to Jack of some of the original stuff that I wrote. And I'd actually come back to Memphis and recorded my Long Lonesome Journey record. So Jack had been getting some samples of the band from Albuquerque.
Right.
And he said, we're going to put together a band when you come back. And I was scheduled to be here in February. I guess it was 2012, something like that. And he had put together Kerry Badur and Pete and
just a bunch of slackers.
Dave, and we got together and
what a great lineup.
We
of
rehearsed
musicians.
with Dan Ward over at his little studio off of Lamar, and he had a big soundboard and everything else set up, all the PA stuff. And after the first rehearsal there, well, the band needs a name, and I just told Jack, I said, got it.
Yeah,
the lineup. Where'd you get that from? I said, look around the room, man. Come on. Yeah. So Kerry was the original keyboard player, and then Kenny came in and took his place after Kerry went on. Kerry was, of course, with Fifth Kind. And
now how long were you guys together before Jack passed away?
Well, Jack had a stroke.
Okay.
So that's when he had to leave the band. So he was together, I guess, for maybe the first 6 months.
Okay.
I got back in February. And we did our first gig at Neil's in June as the lineup. So we didn't waste any time getting out. Of course, what does it take? A few rehearsals.
Right.
And
enough
with
the caliber of players you had in that band.
When you're called the lineup.
Right. Yeah.
And
it truly was. It was a blessing and an honor to play with them. I was just hoping, there would be more of what Jack really wanted, which was more of the original stuff. Because having that caliber of players and having the catalog of music that I've got, it was like, oh, man. I felt like Keith Richards and George Harrison. We get one song a set. I just had more. I have always had more of a desire to move on to doing nothing. So Steve Ingle showed up at one of the lineup shows. And Steve had told me, David, there's no room in this town for another band. Speaking of the lineup, that's what he was referring to before it ever got together. He's like, there's so many bands in this town right now, there's no room for it. But when the lineup got together, he came out and saw it, and he goes, well, I was wrong.